need to intro. I don't need intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show. This is an intro. Don't need to intro. I don't need intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show.
YouTube, today we are making a Super Soaker Staple Tiger Coil. Yeah, I said that right. It is a Super Soaker... I can't say it twice, it's a tongue twister. It's a Super Soaker Staple Tiger Coil. Super Soaker Coil is basically a bunch of tiny strands of like 36 gauge or 40 gauge. The smaller the gauge, the better. Teeny tiny thin wire, and oftentimes it is Clapton together, and that's a Super Soaker Coil. And a staple coil is basically a Clapton stack of ribbon wire. We're going to be using a very small stack of ribbon wire. It's not really technically a staple coil in the traditional sense, but it's a staple coil in that we are Claptoning some ribbon wire, and we're going to be making that into a tiger coil, which is basically a build that oftentimes involves, you know, twisted ribbon wire. Sometimes it's two strands or stacks of ribbon wire twisted together. Sometimes it's ribbon wire twisted with, you know, round wire. This is going to be like ribbon wire twisted with round wire. I just had such a fun time making a tiger coil for my avocado that I thought we'd go ahead and make a tiger coil together, but I thought we'd do it a little bit differently this time. They're yummy, man. They're very yummy. Let's get started. So for this build, we're going to need lots and lots of stuff. We're going to need our vise, we're going to need our drill, and we've also got some other stuff, some odds and ends. We've got some cotton bacon for wicking, we've got our wire. We're going to be working with some 40 gauge round nichrome wire, and we're going to be working with some 0.5 ribbon wire, both nichrome. We got our swivel tools, we got our Coil Master Griffin on top. That's what we're building this for. We're using our magnified goggles, wire cutters, ceramic tweezers. This is a really nice tool from Coil Master, pliers. Anyway, let's get started. Let's get our swivel tools anchored on into the vise. And for the staple coil, what we're going to do is about 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go 5 times around. Really, we only need 4. 5 is just so we have a little bit extra just in case. Ribbon wire can have a tendency to get away from you. You know, needs to be straightened a bit. So I'll just kind of run my fingers across it a few times. That's about it. That's all I'll do to straighten it. And then we just go ahead and clip it on off. Alright, fold it on in half. Basically, to fold it in half, what I'll do is bring the two ends together. And then hold them there. Pull it just like that. That's about it. And then put a little bend on the end of it. Just like that. Alright, then we'll just rope this on through our swivel tools. Nice and easy, there we go. Let's trace these with our fingers just like so. Oh, that's weird, just noticed that. Oh well, punk rock, right? Right here at the end, I'm going to fold some tape over it. Just a little bit of tape. A little bit of tape at the end. Anchor that on into the chuck of the drill. Go. So basically we're going to Clapton up this double strand of ribbon wire. Do I use 40 or 36? 40 or I'm thinking I'm going to use 40 for the Super Soaker. So let's Clapton up 36. That's what I've decided. I'm allowed to change my mind, okay? It's my channel. The thing about ribbon wire is that there's nothing to lock onto when it's going into the chuck. I suppose I could wrap it on there beforehand. And I can also just get lucky like I just did. Yeah, totally a job for goggles. So we got our staple element of this build set up. I'll set it aside for a little bit. We're going to use 40 gauge for the Super Soakers. Yeah, I'll measure against the staple coil. Perfect. Right at 2 around. Excellent. So that's 2, and 1, and 2. Basically 4 times around is what we need. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clip. 1, 2, 3, 4. And clip. Just try and keep them neat. I guess, because it's gonna be 6 strands together. We need like a lot. I'll be back. All right, we're back, and what we've got is a lot of fucking wire. These are 25 strands, unless I lost count. Should be 25 strands 4 times around the spool. And when we combine them and fold them over, it's gonna be 50 strands total. These are mostly aligned already. It's helpful to kind of try and keep them aligned as you go. Basically want to comb them all together. It's like working with hair. It's like working with a lot of strands of hair. That's what it does. Very, very thin hair. Management purposes, I guess, I'm just going to twist the end a little bit. Careful, this is sharp. You can end up, poking yourself through the finger with one of these. Cut off some of the excess so we don't get into trouble with it. Now loop that through our swivels. Just loop it on through the swivels. Wow, damn it. Careful you don't let it go. That was stupid. Damn it, now it's like all like... Be careful if it's getting tangled. I would hate to waste all this wire. That would really suck. It is springy, so yeah, be very careful you don't let it go, because I just did. It's all kind of nasty. And keep combing it. Make sure everything's nice and evenly aligned as much as possible. It's like some are kind of shorter than others, so that's where they all line up. Whole even up to here. Flip them off there. You basically just want to keep any of this from coming undone. It's a very, very slight twist to everything. That's it. Alright, that looks pretty good, I think. Just about like that. Just enough to keep it all together. More or less together. So we're going to go ahead and anchor 40 gauge. We're going to Clapton this in 40. Clip and clip. Wow, that feels really cool. Feels like rope. Feels like a very flimsy rope. Just feels so different than the staple. The staple feels like really stiff and rigid, and this is like very floppy. Kind of cool. Trace that down with my fingers. Grab a pliers. Grip it real good. So this there is our super soaker. This here is our staple. Let's see them come together. Here goes nothing. Not bad. It ain't bad, but it could be a little bit cleaner. So what I'll do is just take a little bit of e-liquid and put it on the flat part of my pliers. Anything that was sort of out of alignment, we'll sort of force it into it. Just gonna smooth everything out real nice. Alright, let's see if we can get a dual coil out of this. Fingers crossed. Ooh, I really like the way it wraps. Yeah, we've got a dual coil, no problem. 6 wraps. Wow, that is some springy wire, man. That is some really springy wire. It all just came open like that. This end too. With really springy builds like this, what I'll do is like I'll leave all this over here so I can pull it tight once it's all secured. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and secure the first lead. Whoa, that thing just wanted to collapse. I'm gonna take that out, that was freaky. This wire behaves so strangely. I kind of like it. I really do, because it's weird to work with in kind of a cool way. I don't know how to explain it. Tighten the first side up. Alright, now this, go ahead and just pull. Just get it getting tight. Kind of has that tiger coil look to it. Sort of, kind of. Alright. Just pull that tight. Using that whole strand like this, just pull it on tight. Tighten that one in there. Now let's go ahead and cut everything short. See how short those wire cutters cut? I love these things. Stretch everything out a bit. Alright, come on through there, thank you. So we have a good amount of grip again. Goes right on in there. Secure the first lead. There we go, good and tight. Pull this one into shape. There we go. Well, YouTube, that tongue twister of a coil is the Super Soaker Staple Tiger Coil. I've got it set up in the Griffin RTA by Geekvape. I've been using it just like this in this configuration for something like a week or two now. Yeah, about a week and a half. And I gotta tell you, it's awesome. The flavor is amazing, amazing. It can take some serious heat. I can push it to about, short of 150 watts. I usually don't push it past, 120, 125, something like that. Here's a rip at 125. It's a flavor machine is what it is. It's just pure flavor, just straight up delicious. I'm not sure who the original concept was on the Super Soaker coil. I'm pretty sure the original concept on the Tiger coil belongs to Twisted Messes, and the staple coil, of course, is Squid Dude. So it's kind of a mixing of styles here, a meeting of the minds. It's just sort of like this meeting of different concepts into one coil. Sort of a twist, sort of a tiger coil, but it's just pure flavor is what it is. And it's delicious, and I love it in this RTA. And it amazes me that it's in an RTA and it's that good, that I was able to rock it in an RTA without getting any dry hits, without having any trouble making sure those coils stay saturated. I haven't gotten a single dry hit out of this build on this RTA. It's pretty amazing. It's just straight up delicious is what it is. Love it. I usually don't go past 125 or so. I have pushed it as far as about 150, but normally I keep it down at, 100 watts and under, 90 to 100 watts or so. So here's a rip at, say, let's put it at 95. And that's around where I like it the best. With this particular juice, this is the Creme by Republic of Vapes. I basically finished off the Private Reserve by Republic of Vapes and then moved on to the Creme. Both out of this RTA with this build. Glorious vape. Just glorious. Cloudy, flavorful. It definitely is a fun build to try out if you have the time, if you have the wire for it. It's just a good time. Now, I don't know if I use the best methods for everything here. Definitely making the Super Soaker coil. I wish that I had just laid down like a bit of tape and then lined up the ends on the tape. I think that would have been way, way smarter, and maybe the other end, the loose end, just kind of bound that in the vise or something. I think that may have been the best way to go. It worked out, just doing it loose and then cutting the end short. I had more than enough wire. I gotta tell you, the Super Soaker strands, they are really flimsy. Once you get it all set up, it's kind of weird, this contrast between the Tiger coil, which is really, really stiff, and the Super Soaker, which once it's all claptoned up is really floppy. It's kind of cool to see how they come together, and it makes the wire behave really strangely. Like it wants to bend when it shouldn't bend. It wants to go concave on you randomly. It's kind of weird to work with, but it's also kind of cool. It's kind of a challenging wire to work with. It's just really fun, honestly. Definitely made me appreciate the Velocity deck in a way that I haven't appreciated it before. Because I think my issue with the Velocity style deck is that when I'm working with wire that's, say, an alien coil, when it's 3 cores wide with an alien coil, it wants to sort of bend the wire in a weird way at the posts. I don't like that. But working with round wire and twisted wire, especially twisted wire, wire that wants to bend in weird ways, I was able to anchor in one lead and then pull the other lead tight as I could, tightening up that coil before anchoring that second lead in. And it made that coil shape just way easier to manage. That's like the first time I've really felt I appreciated the Velocity deck. Velocity decks and I'm not usually so crazy about them, but for this particular build, excellent. Anyway guys, till next time, I'm your homeboy Josh. Vape on, vapors.